So Merritt Wever, tell us a little bit about what first attracted you to Godless and made you want to be a part of it.
I met and I liked Scott. The script that I got was a feature that he had written a number of years ago. So when I signed on, all we knew was that he was going to expand it and kind of build on it. Mary Agnes was in there, but not so much. But it's interesting that you use the word attracted, because I don't know that it was that I wanted to do it so much as it was that I felt I should do it, if that makes sense.
Why did you feel you should do it?
I don't know. This is one of the things that I'm realizing I'm not great at with interviews, is that sometimes this stuff works on a gut level, and trying to put it into words doesn't always work.
Well, it's certainly unique in its genre in that it features such strong female characters. I mean, it's been described as sort of a feminist Western because it's all about, this town where, there aren't that very many men because they've all been killed in a mining accident.
Yeah.
Was that part of what attracted you to it, the fact that it was so unique for its genre?
To be honest, I wouldn't say that that's what it was. No. No. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to be sorry.
I'm just being, I didn't say, oh, well, because it's, although I'm sure that if it had been more of a traditional, for lack of a more descriptive word, Western, I don't know that I would have been, to use your word, attracted to it. And really, honestly, more likely, there probably wouldn't have been a part for me in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, tell us a bit about Mary Agnes.
Mary Agnes is she lives in LaBelle, which is, it was a mining town. There was a horrible accident, and almost every single one of the able-bodied men in the town were killed in an instant. So it's a bit of a town with collective PTSD. She lost her husband, and she's trying to get the women of the town to see this as an opportunity for economic independence, and is having trouble getting all of the other women on board. And she's also in a relationship with a woman in the town who used to work at the brothel when it had customers, and is now the school teacher. And she's a bit tough. She's a little prickly and defensive, and a bit of an emotional porcupine. I think that she wants to give and receive love very badly, but is not very good at doing it.
You mentioned the fact that she sees this as an opportunity for economic independence.
Yeah.
And what's so interesting is that you see the kind of struggle that she has to convince the other women of this, who, and when the men come into town, the sort of evil men from the new company who want to take over, there's this kind of push and pull between you. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, I think that the women just get taken. The women get scared. The women get scared. And she, I'm sure, feels betrayed by them and disappointed in them. Yeah.
Did you do any kind of research into the period or the setting to try to, gain more about the character or about the kind of struggle she'd have with other people at the time?
Yeah, I got the part, and then it was a few months before we went to shoot, so with all that nervous energy while you're, waiting to get there, you try to do due diligence. Once we got there, we did stuff like gun and horse training and stuff like that, but I did stuff like, I spoke to a scholar whose area of expertise is same-sex relationships, specifically during that time, and I read some stuff, things like that, but you never know what part of that kind of work ends up being useful. Some of it is trying to just, like I said, do due diligence emergence. Some of it is hoping to find some kind of kernel that'll spark something in you that you can use. But, a lot of it is just doing all the homework you can do so that on the day you can get there and feel somehow free.
Well, to take us onto the set, I mean, you're out there in the desert, and I mean, it's very expertly designed, the town, and I mean, you're in these beautiful costumes by Betsy Hyman.
Yeah,
I spoke to her about a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
She's really fantastic.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about going onto the set and what the day-to-day was like. I mean, since you're out in the wilderness and you're down the period and all that.
What the day-to-day was like, I don't know. It was, they built, I think it is the largest set in New Mexico, but maybe Western specific, I'm assuming, as I say that. Couldn't possibly, but they built the mining town. It was really spectacular. I remember walking on set and being like, this gig is probably a little too fancy for me. It's like, this is a little big for me. I'm not used to this. But I'm not sure what you mean about the day-to-day.
Well, I guess, let me rephrase this. Having that kind of detail in the costumes, in the set, how does that help your performance? How did it help?
I don't know. I mean, you have the gun holster, you have the shoes. She's wearing, men's clothing. I feel so different from the other women around me. All of that contributes, all of that adds. I have the hat, I gotta walk a certain way. But at the same time, you just kind of put it all on and then forget about it. I don't know, you never know. There's not like a hard and fast rule, I think.
Right. And Scott Frank, the writer and director, what did he give you as a director that helped you with your performance?
What did he was lovely. I felt like Scott was very accepting of me, for lack of a better word. I think I felt very accepted by Scott, accepted and supported.
There's a couple of important relationships that you have in the film, series. Feels like a film. First off, with your brother, the sheriff, played by Scoot McNairy. Can you talk a bit about that? Yeah.
He was so great.
Yeah.
And I remember, like I said, I'd been doing all my scenes with all the other women in the town, and I felt so different from them, and I kept feeling like I must be doing it wrong, or I just felt so different from them. And Mary Agnes is different from them, honestly. And then, like, pretty far into the shooting schedule, I had my first scene with Scoot, and I remember thinking, oh, Scott must be really good because we feel related. It was the first time I'd run into a character who was, like, cranky like I was, and it felt like, it felt good. I loved working with him. I think he's pretty damn great.
And the dynamic between your characters is so interesting because you've lost a husband, and he's lost a wife in a completely unrelated incident, and so you are, in essence, taking care of his kids.
Yeah, and yet accused of not being maternal.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the affair between you and the local schoolmarm / ex-town whore. Can you talk a bit about that relationship a bit more?
Sure. I'm trying to figure out what would be useful or interesting to say.
Well, it's not the kind of relationship that we often see in films or shows of this type, mostly because there aren't that many women in them, but it is an interesting dynamic. Almost, is it formed more out of necessity in some ways because there are no men in the town, or
no, I wouldn't say out of necessity.
Yeah.
I don't think they're both there. No, I think it's real. I think it's true, and I feel so bad for Callie because, like I said, Mary Agnes is not very good at being in a relationship. I think, she was probably a little bit better before the accident and a little bit better when it was with her husband, but for all her tough talk, I think she's defensive and not very good at being soft, and has probably hardened a lot since the accident, and I'm not sure she's very good at being with anyone.
So I wanted to ask you, we're in the awards website. You are an Emmy winner for Nurse Jackie. Take us back to that night. I mean, it was was it a big surprise for you?
Yeah.
Do you remember who you beat that night?
Oh, what a question!
No, I just,
Sir,
I mean,
no, sir, no, I won't.
No.
I don't like that.
I know, I meant because it was a tough category. It was a tough competition, and I wonder if you were surprised and.
I was very surprised.
Yeah.
I was very surprised. It was an incredible shock. It was a really nice thing that happened that I still sometimes forget happened, that I think I didn't know how to incorporate into the narrative of my life. So I think I had to shut it, keep it away, keep it compartmentalized, and then sometimes I remember it happened and I get startled all over again.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Sorry.